Good morning, my dear students. Welcome for the online class of 10th standard. So today we are going to discuss about the second chapter of geography. The name of the lesson is Indian physiography. My dear students, already we have studied about in the 8th standard physiographic division of India. So India has a variety of climate, so variety of soil, so diversity in flora and fauna, diversity in people, and different type of a soil, different type of a climate. So India is also called as a subcontinent. Why it is called subcontinent? That you come to know, because of diversity in climate, diversity in a atmosphere. So relief, different kind of land relief, vegetation, and the diversion in the regional area. People are also going to live in different area according to the different kind of climate. So India is called as a subcontinent. When we are going to discuss about the Indian physiography, we are going to divide India physically four important parts. Which are the four important parts? I have written on the board. So one is northern mountain, another one is northern Great Plains, peninsular plateau, coastal plains and the islands. Sometime for your exam they are going to ask you, so how India physically divided? What answer you have to write? India physically divided into four parts. So now we have to study the first part of the Indian physiography. Which is the first part of the Indian physiography? It is a northern mountains. So you have saw the India map. So the north means Jammu and Kashmir up to Arunachal Pradesh. So that extent area is covered by the northern mountains. So today we are going to discuss about these northern mountains, some brief and detailed information which you have not studied in the previous class. So my dear students, northern mountains, where to where it is extended? So it extended in the west part, means Indus Valley, to up to a Brahmaputra range in the east part. What is the total distance of this area? It is 2,400 kilometer. How much kilometer distance is there from Indus Valley to up to the Brahmaputra range? It is 2,400 kilometer. And so these mountains covers very young mountains, old mountains, and also parallel. So this wide mountain area we are going to see. So some place these mountains are 240 kilometer width, where in Brahmaputra range. When you come to the east, the thickness width of the mountains, how much kilometer it is? 240 kilometer. But when you move to the west side, Indus River side, so there it is extending width up to 320 kilometer. The total area the northern mountain covers. What is the total area? It is 5 lakh square kilometer. It covers 5 lakh square kilometers. Like this, the northern mountains are extended in the northern part of India. And these northern mountains are going to divide into three important mountains. There are three important mountains we are going to see. The first one is the greater Himalaya. Like these mountains will be there. And next one is lesser Himalaya. The height is going to decrease. And the outer Himalaya means lesser Himalaya to the height of the mountains are going to reduce. Like this, three important the mountains will come in the northern mountains. The first one is greater Himalaya. We are going to study. So what do the greater Himalaya is going to include? So the greater Himalaya is going to include the world highest highest peaks and also you can see the glaciers. You can see the glaciers and also the peaks. What is the difference between the mountain and peaks? You know, mountains are not in a sharp edge at the top, but the peaks are going to have sharp edge. Like this needle shape will be there. Mountains. These mountains you can see where in a greater Himalaya. The another name of the greater Himalaya is also called as what? Himadri. These are going to call as Himadri. Another name is there for the greater Himalaya. It is called Trans Himalayas. Trans Himalayas we are going to call for the greater Himalaya. In important peaks among the greater Himalaya, so here I have written. So important, the highest peak in the world is a Mount Everest. What is the height? 8,848 meters from the sea level. And the second one is K2, Mount Godwin Austen. It is the second highest peak. Then Kanchenjunga 8,559, Makula 8,481, and Dhaulagiri 8,172. And Manasulla it is 8,156, and Nanda Devi some other important ranges important peaks are also there in the greater Himalaya. And greater Himalaya also have some other features I told you, that is glaciers. What is a glacier? Where the snow covered mountains are going to lose the gravity and flow towards to the slope areas and take the birth of many rivers. So there are two important glaciers you can see in the greater Himalaya. One is Gangotri and another one is Yamunotri. So here what happens? The ice which are formed, the snow which are formed in a rock shape, later due to the gravitation loss, either may by the high temperature, this will move towards to the slope areas in a different kind of boulders, and later they will melt and move towards to the slopes. So these kind of so the area in a greater Himalaya is called as a glacier. And there you can see one more important features in a northern Himalaya. They are also greater Himalaya. They are called as a passes. So the glaciers which move towards to the bottom place, there it is going to convert into water, where the people can transfer from one mountain to another mountain. So that area of the greater Himalaya are called as a passes. There are some important passes you can see here. One is Burjil and another one is Lojila and Shipkila, etc. are the important passes. Is helpful to the people to move from lesser Himalaya to greater Himalaya, or to come from greater Himalaya to lesser Himalaya in between. So the area is called as a passes. So like this, the greater Himalaya has some unique features. Next we are going to see, so these greater Himalaya, how much meter height from it starts? The mountain, how much meter from heights it going to increase? So the minimum height of the greater Himalaya is 6,100 meters to the highest peak, which one I told you, Mount Everest, 8,848 meters up to there. So the area we can see it comes in the greater Himalaya or Himadri. So the greater Himalaya, especially the Mount Everest, is going to have a different kind of a name, because Mount Everest lies between Nepal and the Tibet. It is not the peak of India, it is in the border of Nepal and Tibet. So the Nepalians are going to call the Mount Everest as a Sagarmatha, where Tibetans are going to call this one as a Chomolungma. What they are going to call? Chomolungma. It is the pronunciation. We are going to see what the Tibetans are going to call for to the Mount Everest, and we come to know which is the highest peak in India. I told Mount Godwin Austin. It is 8,611 meters height we can see, which is located in the India and Nepal border. It belongs to the India. So my dear students, now we come to know the information about the Greater Himalaya. Next we will see another important part of the northern mountains. I told you it is Lesser Himalaya. Lesser Himalaya means in between Outer Himalaya and the Greater Himalaya, the mountains which comes and that are called as a Lesser Himalaya. Another name for the Lesser Himalaya, what is there? Himachal. What is the name for the Lesser Himalayan mountains? Himachal. So these mountains height start from the 1500 meters to up to 4500 meters. The mountains height start from the sea level 1500 to up to 4500 meters. So this kind of a high mountains area is called as a Lesser Himalaya. It is also having some important features. Which are the important features you can see here in Lesser Himalaya? One is ranges you can see, and valleys and the hill stations. So what are ranges means you know in Kannada? Shnediyolu, the parallel mountains. So which are going to be continued one mountain to another mountain, there is no gap, it is attached. So these kind of some important ranges you can see in Lesser Himalaya, which are that Tirpanjal, Dhauladhar, Nanga Pratibha, Mussoorie, Mahabharat and Darjeeling. These are the very important. So the ranges you can see in a Lesser Himalaya or Himachal. The next another important feature is known as a valley. Valley means what? The two mountains in between slopes are called as a valleys. These are very attractive for the tourist place because here variety of flowers, variety of vegetation or variety of so the plants you can see. So which are the important valleys you can see here in Lesser Himalaya? One is Kashmir, another one is Kanga and one more is a Kulu. So the one more important features of the Lesser Himalaya are also covered by the hill stations. Hill stations means the mountains which covers full of grass. So these kind of some important hill stations where the people will go for tourist or maybe in a summer season to get peace of mind for to the hill stations. So these important hill stations, which are the important hill stations you can see here. So in Lesser Himalaya that are Shimla, Ranikhet, Mussoorie, Nainital and the Darjeeling. These are the important. So the hill stations you can see. So means most of the vegetation in a northern mountains where you can see only in a Lesser Himalaya. And next we are going to study another one important. So the mountains of a Greater Himalaya, northern mountains, they are called as a Outer Himalaya. What are the Outer Himalaya includes? The Outer Himalaya includes dunes. So these are also called as a footstep mountains, which support for to go for you for to the Greater Himalaya. At the beginning mountains are called as a Outer Himalaya. Another name for to the Outer Himalaya is called as a Sivaliks. And these mountains from what height to it extended from 600 meters to up to 1500 meters from the sea level. The mountains which covers in the northern part of India or northern mountains are called as a Outer Himalaya. And the width of these mountains, how much kilometer is their width? 15 to 50 kilometer width mountains you can see in the Sivaliks. And the important features of these mountains, it are not naturally created. It is created by the mountain, the rivers which are going to carry lot of the materials and deposited that into the lower part of the northern mountains. Like this, the Sivalik mountains are created. These mountains are deposited the material which brought down by the rivers from greater Himalaya, from lesser Himalaya, and dumped into a low place that created the mountains. They are called as a dunes. So very important dune, where you can see Lehar dune. That mountain is created by the deposited material of river work. So now we come to know very clearly in the physiographic division of India the important first part. Which one I have explained you? Northern mountains. So these northern mountains, so once again I will revise it. So they are divided into how many parts? I told you 3 parts. One is the greater Himalaya, lesser Himalaya, outer Himalaya. Another name what? So Himadri, Himachal and the Sivadris. Now we are going to study about what are the importance of these Himalaya northern mountains. So what the northern mountains are helpful for us? These mountains are going to control the monsoons which are affecting, cold winds which are affecting to the India. They are going to uphold that cold winds and provide a very better climate for the Indian people. And it are also constructed like a natural wall where our enemies from the northern part cannot enter into the India easily. Like this protection we are going to get from the northern mountains. And these northern mountains are very helpful for economical source. Why? Because many rivers are going to take a birth in the northern mountains, helpful for generating hydroelectricity. And we can also construct the canals which can supply the water for agricultural activity to the support of the northern mountains, because these northern mountains, through whichever the rivers are going to take a birth, that all rivers are going to flow throughout the year, because the source of 2 natural things. One, in the summer season the snow is going to melt and allowing the water to flow into the river, and another one is during the summer season, by the high temperature, snow is going to melt. This is one process. During the rainy season also, it causes heavy rain, and throughout the year, so the water is supplied for the rivers, helpful for any kind of an agricultural activity. And not only that, I told you it included some important geographical, natural, so the sceneries. Many people in the lifetime, they are going to visit for to the Himalayan mountains to watch. Why? Because so there you can see the snow covered area, important valleys, important forest areas, so all variety of a climate, variety of a vegetation, so natural beauty you can see in the Himalaya. Due to that, most of the people in the world, they will visit for the tourist spot to the Himalayan places. And not only that, it is also having for some important economical resource. Which one is that? Whatever the plants are going to grow in the Himalayan mountains, so that are very helpful for to prepare the Ayurvedic medicines. Medicines are going to prepare by the herbals. Most of the herbal plants are going to be grown in the greater Himalaya or maybe in the northern mountains. These are economically helpful. And the winds which are going to pass from the Arabian Sea or to the Bay of Bengal, so these winds which are going to carry the clouds moving towards to the Mediterranean Sea or maybe for to the polar region, these kind of monsoon winds are going to be upholded and causes heavy rainfall for the greater part of India. These are very important. So the information about the northern mountains we come to know. So if you have any kind of other source knowledge about the northern mountains, you can include. So now we conclude. So the among the physiographic division, so the very important first part we have discussed, that is northern mountain. In the next class I am going to explain you another important physiographic division of India. How many remain? 3 remain. Which are that? One is northern Great Plains, peninsular plateau and the coastal plains. So what I have drawn is some flow chart on the board. The same you can copy and use for to your study purpose for to the future examination. Keep watching. If you have any doubt regarding to this topic, let me discuss in the group or maybe in through the WhatsApp. Goodbye. Thank you.